Hi, this is Ankita Thakur, and on today's video, I'm going to take you behind the scenes of what happens in the cockpit when I take off and land. So usually it depends on whether you're on a VFR or IFR flight plan, based off which the ATC gives you certain instructions to follow. Obviously, it's very important to have all your pre-flight actions done properly, that is making sure the aircraft is in an airworthy condition, along with having the correct clearance, squawk codes, weather, runway lengths, NOTAMs and airport information, along with your flight plan if you're doing a cross-country like this one. As you're approaching an airport, it's crucial to look out for traffic, and you can use your ADSB, Automatic Dependent Surveillance Broadcast, in your iPad to scan for traffic, and obviously use your eyes to constantly scan for aircraft traffic and even birds. You can also request the ATC to notify you of the number of aircrafts in the circuit pattern. As I'm going to be landing in Flagstaff, which is known for its high altitude of 7,015 feet MSL and mountainous terrain, I always like to ensure that I have briefed myself with an instrument approach plate to be well versed with the missed approach procedure, even on a visual approach, just in case of a go-around, to have a fair idea about the surrounding terrain, especially at higher altitudes when your aircraft may not have the best performance. Once I've entered the circuit pattern at 8,015 feet MSL, I let the ATC know that I'm on the downwind for runway 21. The downwind leg is the longest leg in the circuit pattern, which helps you begin the process of getting your aircraft into the landing configuration. It is also known as the region of reverse command. That is, once you bring down the first notch of flaps, the aircraft begins to function with pitch for airspeed and power for altitude, unlike the regular function of pitch for altitude and power for airspeed. While making your base turn, you are perpendicular to the landing direction of the runway and have further begun to reduce your airspeed and altitude to land. It is usually when the ATC gives you a clearance, such as Skyhawk 1590 Whiskey, clear to land, runway 21. They may also ask you to state your intentions, and here we're going to be performing a touch and go. Once you've established yourself on the base leg, it is crucial to assess when you're going to turn final so as to not overshoot or undershoot the runway. Finals, which is the last leg of the circuit pattern before you land, is almost like the moment of truth. Make sure to look at the windsock and get the wind direction and speed from the ATC. You need to give proper crosswind corrections, which usually are ailerons into the wind and opposite rudder, to make sure you land on centerline with no side load. But here's what actually happens seconds before the aircraft is going to land. I wish you could see my rudder corrections, but make do with the aileron ones. But now let's see what the landing actually looked like. Don't forget, it's a touch and go, so flaps up, full throttle, airspeed alive, engine instruments in the green, and let's go. And rotate, which is essentially lift off. It is essential to reset the trim of your aircraft, especially during a touch and go from nose down to nose up, to not end up stalling over the runway. The trim wheel is a lifesaver, especially on long cross-country flights. It helps alleviate the pressure off the controls and significantly reduce pilot workload. Once you understand the use of trim, it can change your life forever, especially during maneuvers. Once you've taken off, you may notify the ATC of your direction of flight, get the squawk code, and move on. Now let's see what the takeoff actually looks like. That's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, comment and subscribe for more such videos. Thank you. Happy landings.